Aethyrick is a Finnish black metal band that started in Winter Solstice 2016, and in 2017 they already released a couple of demos. Now, roughly about a year ago, there was this debut album called Praxis, 1st of January 2019, and that was pretty nice, melodic, atmospheric black metal. Now it's time for the second album called Gnosis, which we have here for review. Roughly 1 year after the debut album, this is actually going to be out 24th of January 2020. So barely a year between these two albums. Once again, this band is presented to you by these two cloth wearing, robe wearing individuals who want to keep it, say, roughly anonymous and not so much present by their face and names. So here we have this nice looking vinyl released, but once again by the Sinister Fame. Why I say once again is because this was also, the debut album was also released by the very same label. As you can see, here are the couple of images, some lyrics also for your reading pleasure. Don't know how much you can make out of this text, but just to give you a little bit of look here. And then we have this very minimal information. And on the other side we obviously have just an image here. And the vinyl is pretty basic. I'm not just gonna even take it out from the sleeve here, because no need to make extra fingerprints. It's just black vinyl basically. So there you have it. So what's Gnosis like when we compare that to Praxis? I could even say that if you are already familiar with Praxis, this album needs no introduction because it's basically carved from the very same piece of wood. That is melodic, atmospheric black metal in kind of a soothing and melancholic way. Definitely, this kind of music is not intended for people who are all about darkness and aggression, be it bands like Marduk or whatever. This is very, very much operating in very different field. I could even say that people coming from melodic metal background, but very familiar with this kind of melancholic, kind of a saddening feeling with the music, are probably more comfortable with this one than people coming from, more aggressive style of extreme metal. It can be even debated whether or not Aethyrick is exactly extreme, because it's more like, in my opinion anyway, more soothing and kind of melancholic than any of those so-called extreme things in metal. Now, there are raspy vocals, which are kind of not exactly high-pitched, screamy type, but kind of a shrieky things, and they are pretty much what I would say middle ground of black metal vocals. Not even very more extreme than just your typical black metal stuff. That is, they are not very high-pitched, they are not crawling your face off. It's just something that is more or less kind of a falling in the background. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I'm just saying that they are not very, distinctive in style maybe. Now the same could be said also about the sound, the whole production here, because it's pretty much, once again, that kind of a middle road thing. Not particularly raw, but neither it is way too polished, like not kind of a modern day sound. So it's somewhere in the middle ground, which is then again pretty safe way to do this kind of music. And as such, this is something that is probably a little bit maybe too rough for mainstream audience, but at the same time it's not intimidating either, because it's obviously avoiding those pits that so many bands fall into. That is, if you either try to be so marginal and so underground and you intentionally do too lo-fi production, it's gonna scare some people off, and that would kind of fail because this music is more about being melodic and atmospheric. But at the same time, it's not this kind of a plastic production, which is so often a little bit problem when you want to go and enjoy the feeling with kind of analog thing. So I think in those respects, Aethyrick guys have done quite nice work. And also when it comes to the actual songs, the songwriting, how compositions are done and all that stuff, I think this is very, very solid album. Now, to add a layer of negativity here, I must say this is not exactly an improvement from Praxis album. I think this is very much the kind of a brother or sister album to the first one, because the style is very much the same, it's very similar, and it's not like the guys have topped their game, like, okay, let's do so much better than with the first one. So whether or not you're gonna like this or what, depends how you reacted to the first album. And if you are still unfamiliar with the first one, it doesn't really matter which album you're gonna start with, because they both are decent albums, at least, even better. And if you really like the first one, then this is very, very safe bet to go on with. So it's out 24th of January 2020. So in case you're interested, go check out samples. This is something that should not betray you, and should be quite a nice addition to your record collection. This is what Rauta had to say about it. What about you? Have you listened to the songs? And if you have, what do you think about it? Put your comments on the box below and I'll get back to you. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.